Worrying news coming in of another drone being spotted, this time at the Kaluchak military station in Jammu. The drone was spotted in the wee hours of the day at around 3 a.m. Alert army jawans immediately spotted the drone and started firing at it. Almost 20 to 25 rounds were fired. The drone, however, managed to retreat. It went into the dark. At this point, the search operation is underway to see if the drone did fall down, in which case the forces will try to retrieve it. But considering that all bases are on high alert now, this particular drone was immediately identified. Shiv Arora is joining us with more details on this. Shiv, very worrying news coming in. There was a suspicion that perhaps what happened in Jammu was the beginning of another type of similar attack in other parts of Kashmir. What do we know about this one?
The spare bits of information coming in so far, Akshita, suggests that this was a drone that was spotted in the dark. Now, in this particular area, the Jammu sector, the Kaluchak area, especially, there has been a drone activity in the past as well. In fact, there have been occasions when, border security and army personnel have fired on such drones in the past. But obviously, the sense of threat has been hugely elevated after what happened at the Jammu Air Force Station yesterday. But I can tell you that quadcopter drones have been used by Pakistani Rangers and the Pakistan Army and the terror organizations there for a long time. And obviously, this is going to be an elevated level of threat. We're still to understand what exactly this particular drone was about. Did it have an IED attached to it? Was it supposed to be another similar drone strike that was being conducted? There's no confirmation of that just yet, but obviously, given what happened in Jammu yesterday, all military installations are on a state of high alert. The Kaluchak military station, Akshita, our viewers should know, has been a target of a famous terror attack in the past as well. It's a place where several military personnel were killed many years ago. That became an infamous attack as well. So Kaluchak remains one of the preeminent military installations in the Jammu area that has been a target for terrorists. So I'm not surprised at all that we're seeing this sort of flare up in this particular area, not very far from the international border, a place where multi-agencies from the Pakistan forces plus terror agencies obviously operate. So we're still figuring out precisely what's going on at Kaluchak and other areas. I can tell you that I've spoken to several persons on the ground. Every military installation in this area is on a state of high alert. The wheels are also turning in terms of figuring out fresh sensors and equipment for anti-drone defenses. As always, when it comes to such things, India has always been on reactive mode instead of being prepared for such a thing, even though drone warfare is something that has been a warning to the security establishment for many years. So we're going to see this cycle of threat perception and reaction over the next few weeks.
Absolutely. Those questions definitely very pertinent. After what happened in Jammu, at least in this particular instance, our forces immediately identified the drone, started firing at it. The worry, Shiv, was in fact soon after this Jammu attack also about whether this was an indication, such a low-intensity blast being used almost as a trial run for attacks on other stations, on other bases as well. Also, if you could give us information on exactly where this particular military station is located. Is it close to the Air Force base that was attacked yesterday?
It's not very far from, it's in the Jammu region itself.
Okay.
The exact distance we'll have to look up, but it's not very far from it. It's in the general area. Once again, not very far from the international border. In terms of geography, very similar to this to where the Jammu Air Force Station is. So in that sense, it's in the general area for sure. So you're right about that. As far as what happened yesterday at the Jammu Air Force Station being a trial run, that is most certainly one of the possibilities. The other possibility, apart from this being a trial run as a kind of precursor to a larger, more coordinated, high-intensity attack, by more capable drones, is yet to be seen. And that's going to be one of the things that the Indian forces and security agencies are looking at very closely. But the other possibility that has set off alarm bells, Akshita, is that such low-intensity, low-investment drone attacks could be to divert forces, to distract forces to a particular area and mount something much larger and more conventionally in another area. For instance, you conduct such an attack, you concentrate all your forces, enemy forces in that particular area, and then strike in a bigger way somewhere else. Not necessarily with drones, it could be with something else. So that is another thing being looked at very closely. And that's the reason why the Pakistan side is going to be looking very closely at how the Indian agencies reacted, how many forces were rushed to the Jammu airport station to look at what was happening there. Was there a knee-jerk reaction to the forces to see what was really happening there? So all of these are possibilities at this time.
All right, Shiv, thank you very much for joining us with those details.